welcome back to Dr. Walls and Friends, and we are here with, now I can go on with titles with you.
Oh dear, well, it's Dr. Ron Balas, but
Yes.
everybody calls me Ron.
All right,
so
Ron.
that's okay.
But I can also call you Grandmaster Ron, too.
Yes, you can.
Right?
Also Soki.
Oh, it's Soki, too?
I have sewing tools.
All right, well, can you please educate the people? What does Soki mean?
The Soki is a term, it's a Japanese term. It means that the person who has that title is either the founder or the inheritor of a world karate style.
Oh.
And I am a founder of a world style.
Oh, well, tell the people about your style.
Oh my gosh, it's called Tai Shin Do.
Uh-huh.
And Tai is the head, and the Shin is the heart, and the Do is the way. So it's the head and heart way. And we have my gallery over there. But Tai Shin Do is under the Japanese system. I created it 50 years ago.
Wow.
It's been very good. It's been, with the exception of my children, probably one of the defining points in my life.
Okay.
It's led me in different directions. It's all positive.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, we were talking off camera. Dr. Ron here is a psychologist as well.
Child and family practice.
Yes, and we were talking about how you have used the martial arts with children who have been diagnosed with autism
Yes.
and Asperger's
Yes.
and even attention deficit.
Yes.
All right, so can you tell us what benefits have you seen with using the martial arts system with children with these particular diagnoses?
Okay. I'll do two of them here simultaneously. One is attention deficit and autism, mild autism, Asperger's syndrome as an example. The use of martial arts is a discipline, like mathematics is a discipline, things like that. But the discipline of being able to focus on a specific task and to keep your attention on that task. There's a goal that has to be reached, and so that the martial arts is the vehicle that takes this person through this journey to achieve a particular goal. And so that at the onset, the individual knows what the goal is. To give you an example, with mental retardation, from mild to moderate mental retardation, through Jewish Family Services a number of years ago, I did programs with mentally retarded. We don't use those terms anymore, it's a challenge now. But we did our forums, our katas. The kata is our predetermined movements, north, south, east, laterality, spatial types of things. And so that I did that with the formal Japanese katas of right side, left side, front, back, up, down. And what I did, instead of doing the aggressive types of movements with them, I changed that around to be very passive, to be kind of loving, almost like a Tai Chi. And so that as we moved, as I had the student moving, I had them moving towards the garden and having them visualize that garden with flowers in that garden and picking up that flower and smelling that flower and exchanging that to another hand and passing that off onto someone else. And so the translation, the counterpart to that would have been so bam, boom, like this. And it just changed that around a little bit. Matter of fact, quite a bit, to be able to tell a story and to visualize what that is. And through that visualization, I was able to determine that with degrees of autism, that the autistic individual is able to visualize things, and sometimes we don't ask the question of what it is that the individual is visualizing.
That's right.
We don't ask that. We just take a look, and we're looking at something superficially, almost. So that I'm asking the question, Charles, Annette, tell me why you're moving into that garden. What is it that you see in that garden? Well, Dr. Ron, I see flowers. I see a rabbit. I see these things. And so there we are. Now, puppeteering visualization, but puppets. We make a puppet, and this happened in one of the developmental centers. And again, the visualization. The person who had a conversion reaction, and as a result of that went blind and mute, had the puppet. Now, through the conversion reaction, was able to get sight back. And with the puppet, looking at the puppet, manipulating the puppet, said, now this person hadn't spoken a word in maybe 11 years.
Wow.
Said, "Hi there. My name is John. What's yours?" And when we saw that, we were shocked. And I said, "Oh my gosh, what's happened? What has happened right there in this thing? How did this thing come about?" And so that we were able to do some kind of question on the visualization. What did this individual see here in this mind? What was locked away?
Yes.
And that's how we came about saying that regardless, not necessarily regardless, but maybe that with autism, we still don't know what this individual is thinking, what the process is going on. And it's important that in my practice today, as we're working with autistic children, to be able to ask them what it is that they visualize and how is it that they got that.
Yes.
Where did they get that visualization from? Did they hear it from somebody? Did they see it on TV? And they're able to articulate that to us, not maybe instantaneously. In real time, but maybe over a period of time to be able to do that. We've taken that, and that's a vehicle that we use in the martial arts to help this individual to be able to set a goal and to be able to work towards that goal, and so that the reward is the joy of the learning and of the realization. Whoop, the light bulb went off.
Yes.
And so that's the reward. No financial, no cookies and milk, none of those things, no sweets. But the reward as learning is being able to come to some kind of a conclusion, a realization for themselves is the reward. And that's what we've been very successful at that. Over the years, I wish that in our program that we would have a longer type of longitudinal type of study on this, and we have not. We have not been able to do that.
So that's definitely an area for future research.
Well, it's absolutely. I told my graduate students years ago, it was just up until a few years ago when I supervised. This is something that you might want to consider.
Yes.
In a study, because they would say to me, "How do you do this?" Because on the same day, they would be, when they were associated with me, they would be going through a rudimentary learning theory and dissertation, same day,
Right.
from preschool to dissertation, same day. And they say, "How do you do this?" I said, "Well, it's like I'm putting on my clothes. I mean, I've been doing it so long, But and it's something that I've told all my graduate students that how we learn is just we shouldn't take that for granted. Because there's some folks who are not like us.
That's right.
There's something blocking. They learn differently. That's what I said when I talked about at Ohio State. When I said, look, it doesn't matter. Let them do a dance, tell a story. If the person is literate, if they can write, whatever style that they have in taking in information and putting out information, whatever, let them do that.
Yes.
Sitting down here and taking a written test, not everybody can do that. That's not their thing. So And that was very favorable because the interesting thing was that, I'll give you an example here. I may have Sally Smith, whose individual learning style may be primary auditory and secondarily visual, and tertiary may be feel. All right? Now, on Johnny, his learning side might be visual, but what does that mean? His secondary style might be touch. And who are the first to understand it? The military. The military. Because anyone could come into the military, and it didn't matter how ignorant they were, whatever it was. The manual said, this is a hammer, that's a nail, and you put it into this nail, and that's what you do. And that's how the military taught it. And so that we learn from that also. So whatever particular expressive style the individual is, that's the way we're going to do it, and that's the way we did it in the United States. The people that did that, who started off, was the biology department on the West Campus, and they were elate.
Well, I thank you so much for taking this time with us.
And I talked and I talked and I talked.
And I appreciate it.
I love to talk. There's one doctor to another. There you
Yes,
go.
thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
We will see you again on Dr. Walls and Friends.
All right.